Episode 29, guys.
Welcome to Into the 99. I am one of your hosts, Hope.
I'm Daniel.
And today we're going to be doing a deck tech. We're going to be talking, a couple deck techs.
Yeah, not really deck techs. More, we're just gonna talk about a commander that we mentioned in a previous episode. I said that Golos, obviously it's Golos, is a really beginner-friendly deck. It's one of the best decks to teach people with.
But aside from that, it can also be a super competitive deck, and the ways to build Golos are numerous, almost endless.
There's so many different ways to play and build Golos, and he is just a fun, exciting commander to play around, play against, and build.
Yeah, so if you don't know who Golos is, Golos Tireless Pilgrim is a 5 colorless cost commander. It's a legendary artifact creature from N20, and when he enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a land card. Any land card, not basic.
Any land, which is a really, really good ability.
Yeah, it enters the battlefield tapped, however, and then you shuffle, and for Wooburg and 2 colorless, you can exile the top 3 cards of your library and play them without paying their mana costs. And play being the operative word because it allows you to play lands.
Yeah, it's specifically not cast because you obviously can't cast a land. Yeah. That being said, you have to remember anything you do exile with it has to be played at the normal speed you could play it. You can't pay the Wooburg in 2 on someone else's turn and then
try to cast a sorcery.
Yeah, or a creature, and you also can't put lands down on other people's turns.
Yeah. Obviously. Oh, also he's a 3/5.
Oh, he is a 3/5,
yeah,
yes.
Which is kind of nice. Like a 3/5 for 5 with just that first ability would be pretty good, I think.
You can play any instance with him, and you can also play Flash whenever. But all timing restrictions are there. If you choose to play them without their mana costs, if you don't play them first, they stay exiled. And if you do play them, you can't pay additional alternative costs. Like X will always be 0.
Yeah, of course.
But if there's something like a kicker, like you can pay an additional while you play this, you can still play that, which is nice.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. I didn't know that you could kick things still.
Yeah, exactly.
That's neat. That's really neat. Especially because this Golos typically in a lot of builds will have aggressive mana.
Yeah, exactly. He's a mana commander, right? That's why you can build so many different things with him. We're going to go over a pretty extensive list of the ways to build Golos. He's really nice because you never know what you're going to sit down and play against when you see Golos. It's pretty hard to just judge it by its cover.
Totally. Well, but one thing to be said about Golos is one thing that you'll find in a lot of Golos decks just by its very nature is the Gate and Maze's End Wind.
Yeah,
win con.
It has such a nice straight path to victory built into it with that Maze's End. Yeah. Maze's End is a land. It enters tapped. It taps for a colorless, and then it has an ability that's pay 3, tap it, return Maze's End to its owner's hand, search your library for any gate, put the gate into play tapped, and then if you control 10 or more
put it
gates,
onto the battlefield, it just enter tapped.
Yeah.
It doesn't specify that it enters tapped. If you have a way not to have it tapped. I'm just saying.
Yes, that is true, correct.
And if you have 10 or more gates, you win.
Yes,
10 or more gates with different names.
Yes, with different names, and that is an ability. You can't just put a 10th gate down and win with Maze's End.
You have to
have the mana to activate the ability.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yes.
But that way you can respond to it. That way you can do something about it.
Kind of respond to it, yes.
Try to. But one fun thing about that is everybody, when you think of the gates, you think of the 10 gates that are relative to that are assigned to every single guild on Ravnica.
Yeah, your Azorius, Rakdos, etc.
Bulgari, all of them. But a fun fact is that there is an 11th that is often forgotten, and that is Gateway Plaza. Often forgotten by me. So Gateway Plaza is just like Ruptured Spire. It enters tapped if you have to pay 1 or you have to sack it, and then it taps for 1 of any color. But it still designates itself as a gate land type, so it still counts towards your gate win. So it gives you another option, especially if somebody tries to blow up one of your gates.
Yep.
And you can hilariously bring out that one.
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome. It is a really, really, like I said before, very easy victory path when you're teaching someone the game, because you show them that all they have to do is get these gates out and they win. Anything that will search for a gate, any gates they play, and Maze's End, that's going to win them the game. So it's really easy for a new player to wrap their head around that concept and present an alternative win condition to damage to kill someone.
Smash.
Yeah.
Which is how I like to play. But it's nice to see that there's like an easy, and it's very easy to wrap your mind around just land in general. You know, like that is an easy thing. It makes sense when you're starting to play the game. Like that is very easy to follow.
Well, Golos is also 5 colors, so his ability to mana fix himself, but not be short mana due to colors, is really strong. A lot of 5 color decks, like you can make a first sliver deck, but you need Wooburg to cast the first sliver the first time for anything to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas any 5 mana will do for Golos. He can fix whatever problem you're having. So you don't have green mana, but you still have the other mana to get him out. You can go fetch whatever
Golos
you need.
and you go get your land.
Yes, exactly.
So
no, Golos is just overall a very fun way. We are going to be posting 2 deck lists with it. I made a beginner one, like I said, for people who are getting into the game. It's really, really budget friendly. So if you ever want to build this deck, very, very straightforward deck to teach your friends how to play with. And right now is a great time to do that
oh yeah, since so many of us are stuck inside, it's a great opportunity to, like, if you have roommates or if you have a webcam and you want to teach your friends, or like if you want to play with them on like whatever, right? Like if you have any way, like it's nice, like especially if you have roommates, to like get them into the game. I was gonna say like another mechanic that Golos really lends well to teaching people is blinking.
Yep.
Because like I know when I started playing, like I understood what it did, but it was like, why would I do that? Like, why would I want to lose my creatures? You know what I mean? Like, even though I know I did,
but it's a great way to protect him as well.
Totally, and it's just a nice way to like introduce what is potentially a little bit more of a more advanced mechanic. Like,
well, it does teach people to play sorceries and instants at different times, right?
Yeah,
exactly. If you want to play your sorceries, play them on your turn. If you have an instant, save it to protect whoever you want to protect. Blink them in and out so that there's no target when the other spell's resolving.
Yeah, don't blow it.
Yeah, so Golos he has a lot that you can do with them. We put two lists together, like I did say. Mm-hmm. One is that beginner one. Yeah. One is my Golos deck, which is a lands matter. It is not a budget friendly deck, but it's a very fun deck.
Super fun.
And it searches for answers. I really like to try race to get that maze end.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of accelerant to get all those gates out. There is lots of ways to get a pretty sneaky gate win going on with it. Anyone who wants to see the deck list can click the show notes. There's going to be both of them there, so
they're both listed on Architect. Yeah, please check them out.
Yeah, but mine, I'll give everyone a spoiler alert. It runs the Eldrazi Titans because they're so good to cast in Golos. If I could run the other Emrakul, I would.
Yeah. Well, even like without their cast trigger, like if you can hard cast them, great. But even if you just play them without paying their CMC with the Golos ability.
Nope, that's still a cast trigger. Play means cast, so you can play the lands. The whole reason it says play is to include lands, but play means to cast as well. So if you can Wooburg them off the top, you will get their Eldrazi cast triggers. So one of the combos I like to run in the deck...
Oh my god, just take a second, because I didn't even realize that.
Yes.
Good lord.
One of the cast triggers, or one of the combos that I like to abuse that cast trigger with, is Congregation at Dawn, which is 3 mana instant to go fetch 3 creatures from your deck. Selesnya.
Oh, okay.
I think it's white, green. I could be wrong.
It sounds like it would be white.
It includes white, I know that, but it's either white, green, or white, green.
Anyways, just tell me what it does. I'll look it up.
Fetches 3 creatures to the top of your deck in any order you want. So you fetch your 3 Titans, pay your 7 mana on your turn, and then cast them all.
Disgusting.
Yeah. So you pay 7 to get 30 plus mana of ability.
Yeah, it's green, white.
It is green, white?
Nasty.
Yeah, so it's... There's definitely some interesting ways to play it. Feel free to check my deck list out, tell me what you think, and tell me I need to put more removal in. This deck is about racing, not removing.
Yeah. It's about aggression. But that's actually really interesting because it takes advantage of something like it's like Joda.
Yep.
But random, which is fun.
Well, that's exactly it. We did a deck tech on Joda a bunch of episodes ago, and that is the ability to play our friend Tyrone, who also contributes and helps with the show all the time. Tyrone, hello.
Hey, buddy.
Everyone else in quarantine, but we're thinking of all you guys. Sherman, Brian, Tyrone, George.
Hey.
But yeah, no, we did a deck tech on his, and he built Joda in a very strange way where he casts a lot of really, really high CMC sorceries with the Wooburg ability. This is kind of like that, but with roulette.
Yeah, well, but if you can manipulate it with something like Congregation at Dawn, essentially you get to cast 3 super expensive things for 7 mana.
Well, we were right before the show started. We were talking about Brainstorm as well. Like,
Yeah.
put 2 things from your hand back on top, so you know what's there to cast. Any top deck manipulation is going to work great with Golos.
Totally. Well, even like that would have been really nice for me earlier. We were playing, Daniel and I were playing a little bit of Magic before we started podcasting, and I was playing a Golos deck, and I was holding an Emrakul, and sure, I could have hard cast it. I had the mana, but I didn't want to waste the mana, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of mana. 13's a lot.
So I just want to go, we were looking up just when we were starting to write some notes out, and we looked at the common themes. I think Golos is the highest number of themes I have ever seen on EDH Rec.
It is ridiculous, but it's because he's colorless and 5 color. Like,
Yep.
colorless to cast, but allows for 5 color play because he has Wooburg on his card. So, like, you can basically do whatever you want with Golos. Like, the possibilities are literally endless. I cannot think of like anything that doesn't benefit. Like, even literally you could use Golos as a placeholder when if you're trying to get your commander,
Yeah.
right?
Or
Like,
you're waiting for another 5 color.
right?
He has a lot of cool abilities, and his color fix ability on the enter the battlefield is such a good ability.
So good in anything 5 color.
I cannot stress that Golos' rarity is wrong. He should not have been a rare
have been
card.
mythic.
He should be a mythic rare card. He is a very, very strong card. I believe the strongest rare printed in that set by
Totally.
a large margin.
Totally.
Yeah. So he's the common things that people do obviously is cast the Eldrazi Titan, get the huge things, but also try and get any value off the top of your deck with that stuff.
Yeah.
You want your big cost things. You can hit an Enter the Infinite or an Omniscience off the top of the deck for 7 mana. Like, you can hit great things in this deck.
I didn't even think about Omniscience.
Yeah, Omniscience and Enter the Infinite. So if you can do
Let's enter the Infinite.
draw all the cards in your deck. Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, so there's a lot of you draw all the cards in your deck, then put that many you put 1 back down.
Oh, so Labman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you still have to be able to draw.
Yeah, but like,
everyone who entered the Infinites can
wins.
draw. Yeah. So it lets you, and Enter the Infinites like a 12 cost spell. It's huge.
Yeah. But if you don't have to play it.
Well, and it's like 8 colorless and blue, 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 blue.
If you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
though.
But other things that people do is they ramp. Some people play group hug. I just want to quickly go through this list of just silly themes. So
I think actually cycling was a really cool theme listed on here. I think that's super fun.
there's some of the themes. Some of us are jumping ahead.
Sorry. I'm just excited. Okay, whatever, dog.
So these are the themes that are on the EDH rec list that you can click and go through. My Golos decks, I built both of them. They're very different than these ones, I think, but you're going to see a lot of similar cards because so many of these cards just work with Golos.
But they're also both like very much land matters heavy, just a different kind, just a different budget of land matters.
Yeah, I built both with the Maze's End in mind.
Yeah.
But that being said, people play lands matter decks, Planeswalker, there's Blink themes, Big Mana, Eldrazi Tribal, Artifact theme, Enchantment theme, Ramp theme, Legendary Creatures or Legendary Permanents theme, God Tribal, one of our friends plays that one. God Tribal, Cycling, Devotion, Snow theme, Bounce theme, Sacrifice, Chaos Pods, Elemental.
What's Chaos Pod?
That's just like doing things like my Norin the Wary deck does, but in all 5
Oh,
colors.
so stupid.
Yeah, like the Scramble versus the Thieves Auction.
Love that kind of nonsense.
Yeah,
That's
extra.
the kind of garbage that I love in Magic.
People do Extra Turn Tribal, which is the worst tribe I have ever seen in the entirety of my life.
You want to play? You can't.
Too bad. People do Dragon, Historic, Energy, Landfall, Exile.
Plays energy.
A lot of people, there's a huge call right now for people that want an energy-based commander. A lot of people really, really like the energy counters mechanic.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't like any of those cards, but some people are a huge fan of them. I guess you can proliferate them.
I mean, like, you can be wrong. That's cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was so... You know what, though? That's not fair. Because I encountered the energy nonsense when I was first, like, getting into Magic. And I was like, this is so dumb. So, you know what? Like, it might not be dumb. It might be fun. I don't know. I haven't given it a fair shot since I've been an experienced player.
It's not too bad. There's people play, I don't know where I stopped, but Group
Landfall.
Hug. Landfall, Exile, Group Hug, Curses, Token, Discard, Wheel and Deal, Treasure, Cantrip, Top Deck, Aura. Golem tribal. That's hilarious. Scout tribal, Madness tribal, because that would be a good one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Spirit tribal, and Mirror. So, like, there is a lot. If you want to build a Golos deck, there is a lot of lists that exist for it.
Like, whatever you're into, you can probably find some sort of recommendation, or you can just build around a theme that you like, because like Golos lends to it.
Well, and that's the nice thing about the Golos deck I put together for the budget is something that is not crazy cost. It's around $80, and you can give an $80 deck away to a new player and stuff. That's not a crazy investment, and they can turn it into whatever they want. The shell is going to be the same. They're going to have great ramp cards. They're going to still be able to play Golos, and they can change it, upgrade it, do whatever they want with it, find something that works for them. But Golos is a very, very versatile commander. Yeah.
It just, like we said, it lends itself very well to whatever kind of theme you're into. So, like, if a new player were to play, like, a basic Golos deck and then decide, oh, well, like, I really like this particular mechanic that I see, they can sort of, like, veer off towards that, which I think is kind of interesting. And it's really nice because, like I said, like, it really helps with deck building also. I think like it helps like with people just like upgrading little things, because you have lots of options.
Yeah, exactly. You can go in kind of any direction. So as you find more and more of what you personally like, you can build,
learn new cards.
Yeah, exactly. Build your Golos deck in any way. And a deck that's meant to run those guild gates, like, of course they're not competitive. I know I don't need to be told that they enter tapped and they're slow. But again, they're great. They're a great introduction to 5-color, because 5-color, what eats the bank, like, is always going to be lands. A lot of my lands matter Golos deck is the dual lands and stuff. I couldn't find revised for some of them, so some of them are unlimited lands, and those really, really add like a huge budget if you're adding the dual lands, but they're so good in a lands matter deck, and I have the lands, so why wouldn't I put them in?
Yeah, it can be really hard, so.
Yeah, but this is a great introduction to 5. Obviously, monocolor is obviously going to be the easiest one. It's going to be the most accessible for everyone because it's cheap. You only need basic lands. But 5-color is fun.
Yeah, so it's like you teach someone how to play the game with the silly, like, whatever we were saying, like the 8 like the 10 life or whatever. And then you teach them how to play like a proper game with a monocolor deck, and then you like kind of build it up,
You could make a Golos Brian tribal with just every card that makes you sacrifice, pay extra things, bounce extra things.
Shout out to the homies.
Shout out Golos Brian.
Do it.
I'll make a third list. So there's going to be some certain things. Then we're just going to talk about some of the cards that we run in the decks. But some things that work basically in every Golos deck are going to be the follow. Anything that can bounce or flicker Golos or other creatures.
Yeah. So like earlier, what was that? What did I play earlier today? It was like
Ephemerate, yeah.
Yeah, so it just blinks a creature. So not only does it protect Golos, which is nice because 5 costs if somebody keeps destroying him is super brutal, especially since he's an artifact creature, and artifact destruction is super easy, and
a lot of removal can hit him. Yeah.
So like it makes him very.
But you're sorry to interrupt.
Vulnerable.
But you're not really incentivized to destroy Golos because he's going to fetch a new land every time.
Yeah.
So if you have 5 lands out, you can hit Temple of the False God on your first one, and he's not even slightly inconvenienced by that recast. You kill him, he already has the mana to cast himself again, and he can go get the next one. So you can get Temple of the False God, then you can get Ancient Tomb, and you can just carry on.
Well, I know that.
Yeah.
But, like, if somebody's going to, like, kill Golos...
He is removable, though. Like, you don't want to leave him there.
No. So, like, Blink is nice, not only for the protection, but also for getting those extra lands.
Basically, Darksteel mutation him.
What's Darksteel mutation?
It's an enchantment. Creature loses all abilities and becomes a 0/1 indestructible artifact.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
or, like, imprisoned by the moon, or
exactly.
Anything like that.
Imprison him.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to destroy him.
Lands matter so much, even Golos is a land.
Yeah, do something. Yeah, is Darksteel indestructible?
Yep.
Yeah, so the Darksteel is a good one. Any of the enchantments that enchant creature that can get rid of them, that's pretty brutal. Because like not a lot of people run a lot of enchantment destruction, and as you'll see, like
Song of Dryads would be good. You could be like Tyrone and Oko him.
Yeah, yeah.
Turn it into an elk.
Here's a nice elk.
Yeah, exactly.
Delicious.
People don't play enough Oko.
No.
Honestly,
non-commander.
He's a good card. Yeah. Anyways, other things that work good in every Golos deck, anything that triggers extra ETBs.
Yeah.
Or can create copies of your creatures.
Yes.
So anything like Dual Nature is a card. Whenever a creature enters, you put a token copy into play that's a copy of it.
Helm of the Host.
Yeah, Helm of the Host is another great one. Progenitor Mimic. If you have the ability to hit a Clone Legion, you can, again, for 7 mana, Clone Legion your entire board and get copies of Golos, extra ramp, extra... Like
whatever, yeah.
Golos, just anything that can make extra copies of your guy that... Like Primeval Titan, we talked about this last weekend.
Yeah.
He is banned because he fetches 2 lands. Golos is a watered-down version of it, but he fetches any land and has another ability built into him. Primeval Titan is banned because of how absurdly strong his ability is, and Golos was also recently banned in Brawl because they just said that he did not lend a bunch of deck variants. He was too easy to go down the gate path.
Too easy to exploit.
Yeah, because he's a great card.
Yeah.
And
the dopest.
I'm sure all 3 people that play Brawl just didn't want to... Yeah, Brawl's horrible.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so anyways,
So
other
mean.
things that work. You want to be able to play additional lands.
Totally.
Yeah, the new Dryad of the Elysian Grove is such a good card in that deck.
So good.
It is impossible to state how great that card
Yeah.
is.
Rites of Flourishing is a good one to throw in.
Yeah, anything like that. Horn of Greed is another really good card. It doesn't let you play extra, but it's going to let you draw on every land that you play.
And honestly, the draw is so important in this deck because you can cast so much so aggressively because you have so much mana.
Yeah, you run out of hand size pretty quick, so you need to be able to
fast.
draw a bunch.
Yeah, draw in a Golos deck is invaluable.
Well, that's the next thing on the list there is draw. So draw is another
be.
great mechanic, yeah. Anything that untaps your lands, so Seedborn Muse, Awakening, Wilderness Reclamation, anything like that, they're all great because, again, depending how you're playing the Golos, you're going to have a lot of land, but you might want to use it on the opponent's turn. That and having mana sinks, something to actually do with the mana, is really important in your average Golos deck. Be that Kefnet where you can sit there and dump mana in to draw cards and also protect your lands. Kefnet's so good in this deck. His ability to draw and bounce the land is fantastic.
And Kefnet is not very expensive, so it's nice. You can put it in a budget deck or you can put it in an expensive deck.
Yeah, well, he's also not expensive to play. He's,
Yeah.
a 5/5 flying indestructible for 3 mana is a great card.
Right?
Yeah. Kefnet's
but
awesome.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, like, even with regards to Seedborn, like, Seedborn lets you get off that Maze's End, like, every turn.
Yep.
Which is really cool. So.
Well, a Seedborn and a Burgeoning, especially if you can get something like that out in a
Ding,
multiplayer
ding, ding.
game, then you can end up Burgeoning 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Or
Yeah,
Maze's End.
Maze's
3 or 4.
Ending. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything that is going to give you cast triggers, as we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
the play does mean to cast them without it. It just is play to include lands.
Yeah.
So anything like the Eldrazi Titans, like the Ulamog, where you can exile a permanent on enter.
On cast.
Yep.
Or even like the Kozilek to get that 4-card draw.
Yep.
Which is nice. Like that extra draw, like we said, is so important. And to also have like it on a 12/12 is pretty dope.
You want anything that's going to be able to fetch lands or abuse landfall triggers because he's obviously so strong for getting lands. Again, cannot
So like
stress
the
that.
red-green Omnath to get all those elementals.
The new Omnath,
Yeah.
Omnath in the river.
Yeah. Omnath, but swimming.
Yeah, exactly. Swim team Omnath. I'm still waiting for Omnath in a cave when he gets black mana.
I know. That's what I want too. I want black
Omnath
mana
ascended
Omnath.
when he's got wings.
Yeah, right. So many people are like, "Why not white Omnath?" That I'm just like, "I want Omnath with black mana."
Yeah, Omnath
If
in
I
a
don't,
cave.
if I don't see it in the summer when we get Zendikar, I swear to God.
Yeah, there should be another one.
There
Zendikar
should be
is
another
coming.
one. Zendikar is coming. Zendikar is rising.
Yeah, Zendikar is rising.
It's gonna be so dope. Also like rampaging Balos, like anything that's gonna just like jack up that sweet landfall. You could literally make a landfall token tribal.
Oh yeah, there is a lot of great Field
And
of
just
the
like
Dead
token
is-
generators and token doublers. Oh my god, this deck would be so nasty.
Yeah, Field of the Dead is the best
The
card.
worst.
The best card printed.
The best for whom?
Yeah, exactly. Field of the Dead is an awesome one. Anything
Yeah.
that's gonna let you
That's
get
a
those
land.
landfalls.
Gives you zombies.
Obnixilis, where you can't remember it's Unshackled. Whatever Obnixilis the landfall one is, though, he makes you lose 3 life on enter. Opponent of your choice loses 3 life, and he gets 3+1/+1 counters.
Oh yeah, that's so nasty.
Yeah, he's pretty bonkers.
Does he have flying?
I don't think he does.
I feel like he should.
I hope he does.
He has wings.
Well, he shouldn't.
He literally has wings. He's a demon.
Tireless Tracker, obviously, if you can find them, they're always sold out because of Pioneer right now. Everyone likes to play them.
It's Tireless Tracker.
Tireless Tracker is a great card that should be run in every deck that's trying to play lands.
What does it do?
I will read the exact text here. Tireless Tracker is a 3/2 for 3 mana.
Yeah.
Whenever a land enters a battlefield under your control, investigate, and whenever you sack a clue, he gets +1/+1. It's such a good card.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, like I said, you want...
Wait, what does investigate let you do? Scry?
Draw.
Oh my god.
Yeah, pay 2, sack it, draw a card.
Whew.
Investigate makes the clue, and then the clue has pay 2, sack, yeah. It's awesome. The new Thassa is a great card as well for it. It bounces. It has a mana sink like we were talking about.
It bounces what? Herself or a creature?
At the beginning of your end step. At the beginning of your end step, it exiles a creature you control and returns to the battlefield.
Oh my god.
So it's an awesome one. It's similar to Soul Herder, but it has the mana sink as well, where you can tap another target creature. So you can
tap another target creature.
Yeah, you can just protect yourself. Someone has like a Voltron deck.
You just tap it. Okay,
yes.
Gotcha. I'm with you.
Yeah, so you pay 3 colorless, 1 blue, tap another target creature. So if someone has something, you know that they're running a Priest of Titania, you tap that in the upkeep step so that they can't use the mana. Hilarious. Yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of things to do with Golos overall, like we were saying.
Yeah, also they have like a trailblazer's boots on anything. Tap it.
Yeah. I'll go over that in one second. All the guild gates, obviously good to run a Golos, and then pillow fort cards, because it's really, really easy to become the target when people start. Yeah. You're gonna every time you play Golos, people are gonna start asking you this question: how many gates do you have? Yeah. Yeah, it's a common Golos question. So Golos, he has a lot. You want to protect yourself a little bit. My Golos deck doesn't run a lot of creatures because, again, I am trying to race as quickly as I can for that Maze's End win. Yeah. There's
you just often, like, if you're playing that style of deck, you're just not going to have the way to defend yourself, right? People can just swing at you with 40 little 1/1 tokens and you die.
A fun fact, the entire reason that, in my opinion, Back to Basics and Blood Moon deserve to be banned is because I like to play Golos a lot. And yeah, this just is
sucks to suck.
Yeah, a few $1,000s of land can't beat that card.
With regards to that, sort of. So if somebody plays a Blood Moon, but you have like a Chromatic Lantern,
then your lands tap for everything, but they're all mountains.
They're all mountains, but they tap for everything.
Yes, but they're not a gate.
Yeah, but that's okay. You can still do other stuff.
It's not okay if you're trying to gate win.
Yeah, but you can do other stuff. It's not the only win con in these decks.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm just saying, like, that's when you hardcast Emrakul and slap them right on their ding dong.
I was going to say ding dong, yeah. That's the right word. Obviously, Golos, just like he's an interesting commander to build. Totally. But he's really, really fun to play. Hope played Golos the first time. I actually didn't know she'd never seen the Golos deck before.
So fun. So my style, which I didn't expect, because it's like not what I would have anticipated to be my style.
Yeah, but he's just a really, really...
just fun. Yeah. Like, that is like just a straight up fun commander. Because, like, I like the fact that also if you just have mana coming out your butt, you can do his ability as many times as you want because you don't have to tap.
Yep. Nyx Bloom Ancient's also super good in this deck. I don't run it in mine because I'm not trying to hit the ability. So I'm just trying to gates.
Yeah. But, like, the fact, having all your mana tap for tree is nasty.
Yeah. But, no, he just, you pay 7 mana and basically hit that ability 3 times. 3 times. Pretty silly.
Yeah. Pretty gross.
Yeah, Multani's also really good in this for every land or creature, or every land on the battlefield or graveyard. He gets 1/1 and he has Trample and Reach. He's just a great card in any deck that runs lands. Mm-hmm. You want to be able to recur the lands, obviously, because there's going to be times that you may outdraw how many lands you can play and you don't want to throw them out. So anything that allows you to get your lands back to the field is really, really good. Splendor Reclamation obviously being the best one because it's so good. Bring them all back. Scape Shift is really good in this deck too.
Oh, yeah.
A very, very funny way to pull the win out because if you have your lands, you can sack everything that isn't a gate and pull gates out.
Get all the gates and then mazes in.
Well, you can go from 4 gates to 10 gates in basically one turn sitting. Yeah. In one fell swoop is right.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, to that end is that you could also run Windgrace in these decks, which would be fun.
You can run any planeswalker in these decks,
but
and
that's what I mean. Like,
there's just a lot of
the Nissas would be really good.
Yeah, all the Nissas are awesome. Freyalise is good in any deck that has green because of her basically create a Llanowar Elf plus ability.
Right. Well, create a Llanowar Elf, but also have that gives you not only blockers but also mana.
Yeah, more mana to dump things into. Like I said, this is why you need mana sinks in this deck. You're gonna often have just too much mana. You're gonna be able to outplay. His ability's kind of like a draw, but not really. It's a draw on a timer. You can draw those 3 cards, but they're not drawn. They're exiled. You get them back. You want mana sinks. You want things like a Dawn of Hope. All of the finales are really, really cool in these decks because you can hit the if X is 10 more part really easy.
Really easily.
However,
if you hit them.
Yeah, you also run the risk of
hitting
busting them for 0.
Yeah, which would just suck. So
big spell tribal. It likes to wheel and deal.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? The big spells giveth and they also taketh away. What was the one enchantment that I had out earlier? That was
Defense
really cool.
of the Heart. Such a good card.
I've never seen that enchantment
Defense
before.
of the Heart should be put into more decks. It's not very commonly played.
Very cool. So what it is if you're at the beginning of your upkeep, if your opponent has 3 or more creatures, you sack it and get any 2 creatures to the battlefield. Any 2. It's only cost 4.
Yeah, it is a very, very good card. It's
3 and a green.
and
easy.
It puts kind of a timer on. They need to have removal answer for that by your upkeep. Generally, you play that knowing that there's an opponent who's playing creatures. And being able to fetch any 2 of your ETBs is pretty bananas.
Being able to instantly destroy that enchantment.
Yeah, if it hits their upkeep, it's a very big problem. The game we played, it pulled out 2 of the Titans, and that was
sure did
not great. I ended up taking 2 of the Ulamog attacks right to the face.
Yeah, exiling 40 cards.
Yeah, wasn't lovely.
Wasn't ideal.
Soothsaying is a really, really good card in this deck.
What's that?
Soothsaying is an enchantment that is 1 blue.
Yeah.
It has X and 2, shuffle your library. Or no, sorry, 3 and 2, shuffle your library. Can't read from this far.
3 and 2?
Yeah, it has another ability. 3 and blue, sorry. Shuffle your library.
3 and 2 is 5.
But it also has X where you can look at the top cards of your library.
Yeah.
And you can put them back in any order. So you can go 5 deep and exactly. So with your mana, you can basically rearrange your deck knowing that you want on your draw step to hit the lands you're going to draw. Then leave 3 things to cast with Golos.
That's really cool.
He is it's a very, very good one in this deck. Like I said, anything is good in this deck if you can have it. I run Maelstrom Nexus because I love it. It's just the first spell each turn you cast has Cascade because I have those huge Eldrazi and I really, really like to cast 3 spells. So the first spell you play each turn has Cascade. When you play it, you reveal from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card that casts less, and you play it without paying its mana cost.
Nice.
So it works really, really well with Golos. Obviously, I run Courser of Crewfix because he's so good. Play the top card. You can play it if it's a land. Whenever a land enters, you gain life.
Yeah. That's the other thing is, when lands enter, you gain life. That's just a nice little, little defense also.
A little buffer, yeah.
Yeah, a little buffer. That's why the Horny Greed is so good, right?
I like to run Mana Bond as well.
Oh, yeah.
During your discard phase, so beginning of your end step, you can choose to put all lands from your hand into play. If you do, discard your hand.
Yeah.
But if you're able to just draw a ton or Nylia's Intervention, let's say, you have Maze's End on the field, you fetch it with Golos, and you have the mana for Nylia's Intervention for 8. You pull 8 lands in with Mana Bond out, and you just dump all of them in and have your game win on deck. Mana Bond, it doesn't seem as great as it is, but it can really, really pull out a lot of nonsense in this deck.
Is it you may? Or do you have to?
Yeah,
so you don't have to do that. Also, if you don't want to discard your hand that turn, you don't have to. It's just a nice option.
Another card in this deck that is just simply wonderful, and in any team or color deck, is Guided Passage.
Love Guided Passage.
It is blue, red, green. Sorcery. Reveal the cards in your library. An opponent chooses from among them a creature, a land, and a non-creature, non-land. You put them into your hand, then shuffle.
So basically, you get a creature, you get a land, and you get an instant or sorcery or enchantment.
Or artifact.
Or artifact, yeah.
Yeah,
it's pretty dope. And we've had the conversation before.
I've seen some debates where people are like, this isn't good, you get the 3 worst cards in your deck. There shouldn't be a worst card in your deck. There should be cards that you'd be happy to draw. And if you wouldn't be happy to draw, why are they in your deck?
Yeah. If you don't think that they're good enough to play, why do you have them?
Yeah, well, the other thing, too, is this is a really good card to make deals with.
Yeah.
It is, hey, if you pull me my Dark Depths, I will get the ability to go and exile the creature that's a problem.
Yeah.
So you pull my Dark Depths and grab my Swordstep Plowshare, and I'll put it on whatever you want.
Yeah.
You grab me my Maze's End, and I'll get this. You get my Rift Sweeper so I can get my exiled card back.
Yeah.
And I will go and I will destroy this enchantment for you that's holding you down.
Yeah, like whatever you want it to be. Guided Passage is a really nice option. And the fact that it's only 3 cost is pretty dope. Especially in this deck where like having the colors is not really an issue.
Yep. Well, another card I really, really like in this deck is Animist's Awakening. It's basically sorcery that is a gen wave for 1 card. It's just X and green. Mm-hmm. Reveal the top X cards of your library, put all lands from among them onto the battlefield tapped and the rest on the bottom in a random order. Then it has Spell Mastery. If there's 2 or more instants or sorceries in your graveyard, you untap those lands.
Dope.
Yeah, so it's got a really, really good potential to hit awesome cards.
Yeah.
And
especially that they go on the bottom, not in the graveyard.
Yeah, I like to run Mina and Den as well in this deck.
Oh, yeah.
Because, again, they are something that plays an additional land, and that is awesome
Super
in
valuable.
every Golos deck. But they have the pay a red and a green, return a land you control to its owner's hand. And you want to be able to protect those lands.
Yeah.
Because it's important. If you're trying to win with lands...
And somebody's trying to get rid of your Maze's End or something, or somebody's trying to get rid of your Field of the Dead, or one of your Guild Gates... then you just put it back in your hand.
Slaughter the Strong is another great card in this deck. Each player chooses any number of creatures he or she controls with power 4 or less, then sacks all other creatures they control. That's not going to hit Golos.
No, because he's a 3/5.
Yeah, exactly. So the ability to always keep Golos alive at 3 cost is pretty good.
Yeah. Like if things are getting overwhelming, then you can just kind of simmer everyone right the heck down.
Well, and it's a really, really good board wipe because it's a sacrifice, not destroy.
Yes.
So if somebody has Avacyn out, they have some of that stuff, get it out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, the deck has a lot of like things. I also run Door to Nothingness because I'm a bad person. Door to Nothingness is a 5-cost artifact that enters tap.
Yeah, so what you do is it's Wooburg twice.
Double Wooburg.
Dewburg. And a tap.
Yeah.
Target player loses a game.
Yeah, well, you sack it, but...
Well, whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But when you put that into play with the Amulet of Vigor, whenever a permanent enters tapped and under your control, untap it, that is a real game changer there.
And the fact that there's an Eternal Witness in the deck.
There is, yes, that's correct.
I'm just saying.
Rings of Brighthearth is another great card with Golos because then you can pay pay 2. So you can turn it into a 9-cost spell and copy Golos' ability. So you can get 6 cards for 9 mana. It is an awesome card too.
Hell yeah.
Rings of Brighthearth is just a great card.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, this is just kind of just a quick episode today. Everyone's still kind of out and about. We have a bunch of shows planned, but obviously we haven't been able to get to them because everyone's staying at home, which everyone should be. Yeah,
I hope everybody is. Hope everybody's staying safe. But yeah, definitely keep on the lookout because we do have a few new and exciting things on the horizon for Into the 99. We're really excited to share it with you guys. So sit tight. A little bit of a shorter one today. We also have to push back another episode. I don't know if the Ikoria spoilers are going to be coming out because they have, for anyone who doesn't know, delayed the release of it. Yes. Until kind of things are back to good. Yeah. The hard copy release of Ikoria is looking like it's going to be about May 15th, ideally, right now, assuming that everything kind of simmers down. Still going to be available on MTG Arena. I think the spoilers are scheduled to start on the 2nd, though. Oh, that's going to be even worse because if there's good things in it. Yeah, and you have to wait till mid-May. And if they spoil the commander decks and I have to wait a month and a half to potentially get them, is going to kill me. There have been some unofficial spoilers that have come out. I don't know if anybody's seen them, but if you're interested, go check those out because they're absolutely ridiculous. Are you talking the Godzilla ones and stuff? Yeah. I think those are fake. I want them to be real. I hope they're fake. That'll let me down if they're not. I want so badly that stupid nonsense to be real. Just, I'll cast Godzilla. I'll cast Gojira. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, check us out on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, you can always message us and get a link to our Discord and chit-chat with us there and maybe play some online games with us. Yeah, we have started playing some online games, so check it out. Brian's the one who generally organizes those, so yeah. Shout out Brian. Shout out Brian. Tell him hello when you want to play. Yeah, so we will see you guys next week. Have a good one. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. Bye.